Well, ladies and gentlemen, everybody that's using catheters to catheterize themselves, see, you don't have to use a new catheter every time. See, when you buy them, they say you have to use them every time or you get infection. Well, I figured out a way of preventing an infection. See, what happens when you use a new one every time, when you insert it in to the bladder, well, the only place the urine comes out is through the tube itself, and so therefore down your urethra, no urine goes down there anymore, nothing to flush the bacteria out. So if you do get some bacteria up your ureter, it'll lay in there and it may start growing and it'll give you an infection. So what I've done is I've taken the catheter and I've put more holes in it. So in a second, I can't do it right now, but I'm going to show you the catheter in a minute with the holes in it and how I put the holes in it. But what happens when you put the catheter, when you insert the catheter, the way my method is as soon as you put it in, and as soon as the urine starts coming out, you put your finger over the end of the catheter. And then what you do is you squeeze, and what happens is that with the extra holes in it, the urine goes through the regular hole where the regular catheter has, and then it goes out the holes that I put in there. And then what happens, the urine, instead of going down the tube and only down the tube, it goes out the outside of the tube, and the urine goes down and out just like when you pee. And so therefore when it does that, when it washes, if there's any bacteria in there, it washes it out with the urine that you are urinating, and so therefore you don't get infection. Simple as that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over on the other side of the camera where you can see the catheter, and I'm going to show you how to put the holes in it and where the holes go. So when I come back, I'm going to show you that. Okay, now I'm going to try to show you the catheter with the holes in it, if I can. Okay, well, as you can see, here's a hole there that was made from the right there. And if I turn the catheter around, you'll see the other hole right here. So they come out with two holes in the tip. Okay, so to make this work where you don't get an infection, so what I do is I put a hole there clear through, and about 3/8 of an inch, about 3/8 from there to there, and then I rock it 90 degrees, and another hole clear through, another hole clear through. So we're going to count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 holes. And so what happens when you insert the catheter? Well, about this much goes into your bladder, and then what you do is once you get it in, once the urine starts coming out the tip over here, what you do is you put your finger over it. When you put your finger over it and push with like you're going to try to pee, what happens is the pee comes through these two holes, the original holes, and what they do is they come out these holes here, and the pee doesn't go down the tube and out the end of it because you got your finger over here. And so what it does is it comes out of these holes and it goes right down the urethra just like if you're peeing regularly. And what it does, it flushes the any bacteria that was in your urethra. It flushes it out, just like if you were going to regularly pee and you weren't using the catheter. So therefore, you don't get any infections. So these holes makes it possible where the urine comes in here in these two original holes, and then they come out these holes, and they come out the side of the tube and out, and that's what makes it where you don't get any infections. And so I'm going to try to show you now how to put these holes in the catheter. So what I have is a caliper here, and so I put the if I can show you, see that hole right there, the original hole. Actually, what I do is I go to the second original hole and I put it right there. Right in that hole there. And then I mark it. And then what I do is I take that mark and I take the hole puncher here, and what they do is they call it a Harbor Freight leather punch tool. And the item number is 97715, and it costs $6.99. 99 cents. And what I do, you can either use it says 3/8 here, and this says 1/8. So I generally use the 3/32, and I have a little arrow there. And so what you do, I've only got one hand to operate this thing, but so what you do is you put it up here, like I showed you a minute ago, and you mark it, and then you take the tool. I'm going to see if I can do it, see if I can show you. I guess I can't. Well, I guess I can, yeah. Anyway, so then you take this tool, and where you marked it, and you put it right in there, right on the catheter, right on the catheter, right on the spot that you marked, and you try to center it as best you can, and then you squeeze it, and it puts the hole through both sides. And then once you do that, you measure it again, you put it back in your caliper, you have a little marker, you put it back in your, and you mark it again, you punch again, mark again, punch again, 9 times, and 3/8 inches apart. These holes here are 3/8 inch apart, and that's it. That's it. That's safe. So you can, and I'll show you in a minute how you sterilize it, and there you go. And not only that, what you do is you use these, hold on, once you get the catheter sterilized, you take this stainless steel rod, and what the stainless steel rod is for is to keep the catheter straight. See, when you got it in the hot water, the plastic goes back to its original shape. So you can take this catheter and you can wind it up and let it get cold, and it'll stay with the round configuration. But once you get it hot and you put this stainless steel thing down in it, rod down in it, and it's hot, it'll stay straight, pretty straight, and that's it. So then what you do is you spray, when you're going to use it, you spray spray your hands with peroxide. You rub your hands back and forth, and I'm going to show you that in a minute too. You rub your hands back and forth, and really hard. And what happens, not only does the peroxide kill the bacteria, if there's any live bacteria left or there, the pressure, that when you squeeze it, it'll squeeze it to death and squash it, just like if you do a bug. And that way your hands are nice and sterile, and your catheter is nice and sterile, And when you catheterize yourself, you cover the end of it so the pee doesn't go down the tube, and it goes on the outside of the tube through these holes, and it flushes any bacteria that's going to cause you a problem right on out, just as if you were peeing without the catheter, and just like everybody else pees. And like me, I'm 75, and I never had a bladder infection all my life, because when you pee, it flushes your ureter out, and you're good to go. So I'm going to shut this off right now, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to show you the rest of it. Okay, I'm going to show you how you wash your hands with the peroxide. So all you got to do is spray it on the other one, and then you rub it. And so what you're doing here, not only is the peroxide killing the bacteria, if there's any bacteria on there, when you do this, it kills them. It squashes them like bugs. So you go like that, and there's no living bacteria on your hands. And then what you do is you take your catheter, and you pull your catheter out, this steel rod out of your catheter. And then what you do is you spray some peroxide on it. And then what you do, you take it and you insert the catheter in, and then you put your finger over the end of it. Once it gets in and the urine starts coming out, you put your finger over it and you squeeze. And what happens is that, see, the urine comes down through here, through the holes, and with your finger over the end of it, it goes through the holes, and it goes down your urethra and out into your pan. And what I do is I have a pan that I stand up. So I have a pan similar to this, and what I do is I put it right there about knee distance, and then what I do is I urinate right into that pan, standing up. And I've been using these catheters about 6 months now, and haven't got an infection, and everything is great. So you don't have to buy new catheters every time. And the main thing about it is, sometimes if you have a small, now this is a smaller catheter as far as diameter, and the other ones, the pink ones, they're a little bigger. Now this is a little bigger. The orange one is a little bigger, and it works better. You don't want a small one because it won't push in as good. Now a little bigger. Now actually I think I really need one a little bigger than this one. But next time I'll buy the next size up. But that way it pushes in, and it goes a lot easier when you're trying to insert them. What you do, this is how you sterilize your catheters. You put it in a pan, and you boil the water, and you can see the water steam coming off. And you take your spoon, and to get it in there, make sure that you raise it up, and you go like this, and that runs the water through it, hot water, so it sterilizes the whole thing, and it gives it a good sterile. And then what you do is you have another pan big enough for your silver rods that go inside of the catheter to keep it straight. And then what you do, you put it in a tube like this. See the little tube? It's got a cap on the end, And so what I do for that is I take the peroxide and I shoot it in there. Shoot it in, and I shoot it in the other one. And then what I do is I take it and I Take it and I rock the peroxide round and around, make sure that the peroxide gets everywhere on both of them. And that sterilizes the tubes. So you have your catheters in the boiling hot water, and you have your other there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and pick this up, and I'm going to pour the hot water over the stainless steel rods. So there I have the sterilized catheters, and here's the rods in here, and it's boiling hot water. So you take and move them around. And then what I do after they get sterile, it only takes 4 or 5 seconds because that boiling hot water sterilizes really fast. So then what I do is I take a catheter and I hold it on the end. The way you do it, you wash your hands with the peroxide. And then you take you get one of these out of here, and you get one of these stainless steel catheters, and you put it right in there like that. And as you're doing this, you take it and put it in the tube like that. So there's one. So you just keep going until you're all done. Okay, so what I've done is I've reheated the water, hot water. It's boiling, as you can see. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it over here, and what I did is I got all the rods in this in the catheters. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to put it in. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to splash it around a little bit with the in the boiling water again. Now what this does, it sets the catheters straight, and so you can rock it back and forth like that. And then, like I say, on mine, you can take it and grab it like this, and it'll stand up for you. And then what you do, you come over and get your tubes, and I put it. You put it right there. Since I'm using the camera and only got one hand to use, so I'm going to pick a couple at a time up, and I'm going to put them in. I'm going to put them in the tubes. Okay, so I'm going to get another tube, and I'm going to put it in here, and I'm going to grab them. See, if you touch, you should have used some peroxide on your hands, but if you just touch the top here of the catheters, it's not going to give you a problem, because you're not going to be this part of the top part's not going to go into your ureter anyhow. So there you go. You got your catheters done. And then what you do, you put it over here. And I've got these already sterilized, so you just put the caps right on like that. And you can take one of these tubes, like if you're traveling or if you're out and about, you can well, it doesn't want to go on with one hand, but you put it there, and I'll do that in a minute. But there you go. There's your sterilized catheters, and it's ready to go.